Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome back to another how to play video. This week we're going to learn, this is a perfect song for beginners. If you're just beginning your sort of guitar journey, this is a perfect sort of song to learn to play on acoustic guitar. It's my song, Mother's Milk, which I released as a single. So what we're going to do, this is a very, very simple song. So I'm going to take you through the tuning first, and I'll take you through the kind of the technique. And then what I'm actually going to do then is we're going to talk through what the actual sort of movements are. And then I will put up the actual single video, or a slightly modified version of the single video with some on-screen guidance. And I've also tabbed out the entire song as well. The tab will be available as a PDF, and it'll be available on ultimateguitar.com as the full Guitar Pro tab. So let's get to tuning first. So this tuning is E standard tuning, down tuned half a step. So if you're new to guitar, you'll tune your guitar normally to, starting from low to high, E, A, D, G, B, E. So E, A, D on the wound strings, and then G, B, E on the three higher strings. So what we're going to do, we're going to take that tuning and we're just going to tune it down half a step, or a fret basically. And we're going to be tuning to a D sharp, and then a G sharp, and then a C sharp, and then an F sharp, and then a A sharp, and then another D sharp. So that's the tuning. So this is a very, very straightforward song. It basically revolves around a G major chord, which I will put up here somewhere. And what you're going to do, the only thing that moves is the root note, is the bass note. The bass note is the only thing that changes in this song. And that's why it's so beautiful for beginners. It's because once you get this, it's a very, the movement is identical throughout the entire song, and you're only moving a single note. So you're going to take that G chord and you're going to hit the root note, and then you're going to take your first three fingers and you're going to hold the top three strings, and you're basically going to pluck them at the same time, 3 times. It helps that I've got nails, so I deliberately use false nails on top of my own nails, because my nails are rubbish, garbage. So I've actually got like slightly longer nails, which helps. You can probably play this without nails, but it won't sound as sharp. The attack won't be as sharp. It might sound a little bit different, but that's fine. It doesn't matter for this. It's all about learning the technique. So it's root note, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the entire song, right? This doesn't change at all. Well, it does change slightly, but we'll get into that. But it's nothing, the technique is still the same. So just start practicing that, basically. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the only thing that changes then is the root note. So it would be So that's it. And there's only 5 root notes in this song. So you've got the G on the 3rd fret on the E string. Then you've got the F sharp on the E string, which is the 2nd fret. And then you're playing that open. And then you're playing the A string on the 2nd fret. And then the 3rd fret, which is a B and a C. And I'm using the notes as if we were tuned to E standard. So even though we're half a step down, I am going to refer to everything as if we were playing an E, because if someone tells you to play a G chord, that's a G chord. It doesn't matter that we're half a step down, and that would technically be an F sharp. Let me turn my tuner on and find out. Yeah, F sharp. For the sake of everybody knows that that's a G chord, everybody knows that that's an E, then that's an F sharp, and then that's a G. Everyone knows that's an A. So for the sake of that, that's a G, that's an F sharp, that's an E, that's a B, and that's a C. So when you see the notation at the full lesson, that's what we're sticking with. So there's only 5 root notes. There's G, F sharp, E, which is 3, 2, open. And then on the A string, on the 5th string, it's the 2nd fret B and the 3rd fret C. That's the only thing that moves in this entire song. So for the majority of the song, it is 1 root note and then 3 on the high strings. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The only time that changes is when we transition from the verse into the pre-chorus and at the end of the choruses. So in that instance, there's a short little passage where you do a moving bass line down, and that's a 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So whereas the majority of the song is, when we transition, you're only hitting the high notes once. So it's a little transitionary. And at the end of the choruses, it does the same thing, but it goes. And that's it. And then at the end, the only thing that changes then at the end is we're actually plucking each note individually. So that's going to be the B note, the B root note, 2nd fret on the A string, and the up to the C, down to the F sharp, and then you just strum a G chord. And that's it, that's the end of the song. So what's going to happen is, I'm going to play a modified version of the single video, which I did live in the studio. That's actually a live take. And I'm going to put the root notes up here somewhere. The root note to play is going to be here, and then next to it over here is going to be the next root note that's coming up, and that's going to be in brackets. So kind of like Tetris, where Tetris shows you the next block that's coming. I'm going to, in brackets here, I'm going to put the next root note that's coming after that one. So the root note to play is here, and then in brackets is the root note that's coming up. So for the entire song, I'm just going to be, you'll just see the root notes coming up as the song is playing through. Because I think for that, because this is such a nice simple tune, all you need to see, and the only thing that moves is the root notes. That's all you need to see. And showing you the one that's coming up next will prep you. So just for this, just remember that 3rd fret on the low E string is a G. The 2nd fret on the same string is an F sharp. And then open is an E. And then the B is on the 5th string on the A string is the 2nd fret. And then the C is the 3rd fret on that string. So the root notes are. And the only tip I'm going to give you, because this is the only one I need to give you, is when you play and you move down to the E, you want to prepare by putting your first finger on the B note, which is the 2nd fret on the A string. When you're playing that open E string, the next note is either going to be the C or the B. So I always rest my first finger on that B note, ready, because I've got an anchor then. I'm either going to be playing a B or I'm going to be playing a C, depending on which part of the song it is. And you'll see that when the lesson or when the the tutorial part of this comes up. So when you go down, you'll see I naturally rest my first finger on the B note, just waiting for the next part of the song, because it's already there then. I'm not holding it in open space. It's there waiting to go. So that's the only sort of trick that you need for this song. So what's going to happen then is I'm going to transition now into the live video, and I'm going to basically be putting the root notes up here, and you can just play along. But again, just practice. If you are brand new to this, just practice that and just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you can do is you can just practice moving around the root notes wherever you want. So you don't even have to do it. It's a nice little practice actually. Just practice moving the root notes around. You can move them anywhere. And just get used to that rhythm. Because that's a nice little practice. And that's it. That's a lovely little practice for a beginner. And this song is almost like a perfect practice song for that kind of movement. So what I'm going to do, we'll go now into the actual play along and just follow the root notes. Just follow the root notes. And then play it out to the end. So we'll do that now. Well, I hope you enjoy this. It's a lovely little song, perfect for beginners, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end. Let's pick up the pieces of our lives until next time. Let's make up some reasons the dream died. Let's live this life. There's so many moments we can't change. When the night rolls in, I don't wanna wake again. And the mass of these thoughts closes in. So we cling to the lies like mother's milk. We cling to the lies like mother's milk. Oh, picked up the pieces of our lives. There's no next time. We made up some reasons the dream died. Let's live this life. There's so many moments we can't change. When the night rolls in, I don't wanna wake again. And the mass of these thoughts closes in. So we cling to the lies like mother's milk. We cling to the lies like mother's milk. We cling to the lies like mother's milk. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that for beginners especially, because it's difficult sometimes to find things that are genuinely simple to play for beginners. And I'm not a guitar teacher, so let me put that out there straight away. You know, I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to put out how to play songs, how to play tutorials for my own material, for my own songs, because I think that's a good thing for artists to do, you know, is to show people how to play their own songs. I think that's a valuable thing to be out there in the community. And then it's trying to find then the right audience that it could be helpful for anyone beginning or intermediate. And I think this is a perfect song for beginners because it is such a lovely fixed position with one moving sort of component that's very, very nice and easy to grasp. And it is just all about practicing that timing, getting that hand and just feeling that rhythm and feeling the count. I think that's a perfect song for beginners. So I really hope that's been useful to anybody. You know, I hope you enjoy the song more than anything. You know, I think that's probably the best song I've ever written. And it came about from the fact that I never learned to play that Beatles song. Never learned to play it. And I would sit here and I was like, no, I know it's not right. I know it's not right, but I did like that. And that's how this song came out. Basically, this song literally exists because I never learnt to play that Beatles song. But thank you for watching. I hope that's been useful to someone. And I'm waffling, like I always do. But thanks very much if you are watching. Thanks and take care. See you in the next one.